Chapter 1. The Echo of Silver. The year is 1570, and the sun over the Shaanxi province is a relentless, burning eye that turns the earth into a fine, choking powder. You are only 12 years old, a child who finds joy in the simple warmth of the dirt beneath your bare feet and the laughter of your younger siblings. But poverty in the Ming Dynasty is a cruel master. Your family lives in a shack, struggling for every single bowl of rice. When the world suddenly stops at the sound of heavy, rhythmic wheels, a black lacquered carriage, shimmering with a wealth you've never seen, pulls up to your home. A man in stiff, rustling silk robes steps out. His face is a mask of stone, and his eyes scan you like a butcher appraising meat at a Sunday market. He doesn't ask your name or your dreams. He inspects your teeth, the clarity of your skin, and the structure of your hands as if you were livestock on sale day. Behind him, your father stands in heavy, shameful silence. A sack of silver is tossed into the dust. The sound of coins clinking is the sound of your childhood ending. You are no longer a daughter. You are cargo, a concubine in training destined for the heart of the Ming Dynasty. As the carriage rattles away, your mother's sobs fade into the rising dust, her face becoming a blurred memory of tears and desperation. Chapter 2. The Red Gates and the Ritual of Pain. The Forbidden City greets you with towering walls the color of dried, ancient blood. The air here is thick and heavy, stinking of sweat, horse dung, and the collective fear of 1,000 girls who came before you. Eunuchs with cold, hollow eyes herd you like cattle toward the inner gates. Inside, you are stripped of your clothes and your dignity, standing shivering and naked as they poke and prod your flesh with cold fingers. One girl is cast out for a nose that is slightly crooked, a rejection. That, in hindsight, might have been the greatest mercy she ever received. But you are kept because your feet are deemed suitable for the most brutal of traditions. Footbinding. They call it the Golden Lotus, a poetic name for a slow, agonizing destruction of your anatomy. They crush your bones into tiny, arched shapes, so you will hobble prettily for the emperor. It is a torture that leaves you screaming for weeks, your nerves on fire as you learn to walk again on mutilated limbs. You pass the inspection, but you are forever changed. Every step you take for the rest of your life will be a sharp knife thrust in your marrow, a constant reminder that your beauty was built on broken bones. Chapter 3. The Maze of Whispered Threats. By the age of 13, you are a ghost draped in silk, trapped in a labyrinth of red walls and hidden daggers. The harem is a place where beauty is a battlefield, and you are armed with nothing but your face and your silence. The older concubines do not offer sisterhood. They glare at you with eyes as sharp as razors, seeing you only as a rival to be eliminated before you can catch the emperor's eye. Your training begins with the lowliest of tasks. You scrub cold stone floors for senior consorts who treat you like a roach in their rice. You are taught to serve tea with a grace that hides your trembling. Pour too slowly, and a senior consort's hand cracks across your cheek. Your knuckles bleed from the strike of a bamboo rod during calligraphy lessons. If you spill a single drop of wine, you are locked in a dark, damp closet for a day without food. Starvation is the palace's most patient teacher. You learn the rules quickly, obey without question, charm without emotion, and above all, survive. Failure doesn't just mean a beating. It means vanishing, like the girl rumored to be buried beneath the palace floorboards for a minor mistake in her embroidery. Chapter 4. The Banquet and the Predator's Gaze. A year of suffering passes, and your opportunity arrives when a senior consort chooses you to serve at a grand imperial banquet. You are dressed in silk that costs more than your entire village, but it is a leash, not a gift. The air is thick with the scent of roasted meats and expensive incense. But underneath, you smell the sour rot of corruption. You pour wine for a noble whose leering grin is stained with rice liquor. As his hand grazes your wrist, your skin crawls, but you must remain as still as a porcelain doll. From her high throne, the emperor's mother, a woman whose heart is made of iron and whose eyes have seen 1,000 executions, watches you. Her gaze is a blade at your throat. One wrong move, one glance too bold, and you will be erased. Your hands shake, the wine sloshing dangerously near the rim of the golden cup. But you set it down with a click and retreat into the shadows as the consort gives a subtle nod of approval. Then, the great bronze gong sounds, a deep, booming tone that vibrates in your chest. The Emperor is coming. Chapter 5. The Night of the Son of Heaven. Your pulse roars like a war drum as you are carried to the Emperor's private chambers on a palanquin. Your mutilated feet are useless for walking long distances, and the silk curtains sway like a shroud as the heavy doors creak shut, sealing you inside with a man whose whim is the law of the land. The room is filled with the heavy scent of sandalwood. His shadow looms in the flickering lamplight, his voice a blade wrapped in velvet. Please me, or you'll wish you hadn't. In this chamber, failure isn't just shame. It's a death sentence. You force a smile, every nerve in your body screaming in protest as he steps closer. You survive the night, but the cost lingers in your trembling hands and your hollow eyes. By 15, you have become a stranger to yourself, a ghost who has mastered the harem's lethal code. You learn to sidestep the consort's literal and metaphorical daggers, praying you don't end up like the girls who slip from balconies, their silk scarves fluttering down like broken wings in the moonlight. Chapter 6. The Poison Jackpot. At 16, you have become something sharp, a blade forged in the fires of fear. Your smiles are a perfectly crafted mask, and your eyes miss nothing. The Emperor begins to favor you, and suddenly, you are pregnant. While a baby is your ticket to the coveted consort status, it is also a giant target on your back. A rival, a girl who once whispered secrets about a stolen jade comb, now frames you for poisoning her herbal tea. You are hauled before the Emperor's mother, whose face is as cold as a tombstone in winter. Prove your loyalty, she hisses, or join the ghosts that haunt the foundations of this palace. Only the desperate, last-minute word of a kitchen servant who saw you pour the tea clean saves you from the whip and the noose. When you finally give birth to a son, the palace buzzes like a kicked hive of hornets. A male heir makes you powerful, but it paints a bullseye on the baby's head. You cradle him in secret, jumping at every creak in the floorboards, fearing a drop of poison in his milk or a silken cord around his neck in the dead of night. Chapter 7. The Game of Shadows. You are named a low-ranking consort, but you quickly realize that the higher you rise, the harder the others push to make you fall. Your only ally, a woman named May who lost her own child to palace intrigue years ago, warns you of a new plot to frame you for treason. Treason means a slow execution for both you and your infant son. You do not wait to be a victim this time. You act fast, using your last gold hairpin to bribe a high-ranking eunuch who exposes the plot before it can take root. Your rival is dragged away by her hair, her screams echoing through the stone corridors until they are silenced by the executioner's sword. Your victory feels heavy, like lead in your veins. By 22, the air in the city is thick with the shadow of a plague, and the Emperor is failing. A new rival, desperate and young, accuses you of witchcraft and placing a curse on the Emperor's health. You are dragged to a cold stone courtyard as the moonlight glints off the executioner's blade. Your son's screams echo from the nursery as you are forced to your knees. The blade hovers, the cold air kissing your neck, until a shout breaks the silence. Your maid has found the hidden dolls used to frame you. The blade drops, but it is your accuser whose blood pools like spilled ink on the stones. Chapter 8. The Shadow's Legacy and the Final Breath. Realizing the Forbidden City will never be a home for a soul, you make the hardest choice a mother can make. You smuggle your son out of the palace to a distant cousin in the mountains, a risky, treasonous move that costs you your final connection to him. You choose his life over your own heart. Soon, the plague finally takes hold of your body. Your lungs burn like they are filled with glowing embers, and your infected, bound feet ache with a fire that never goes out. At 25, you lie on a threadbare mat in a drafty corner of the palace. No longer the Emperor's favorite, a new girl has arrived, her innocent laughter echoing in the gardens where you once wept in silence. But you die with a secret victory. You were never just a concubine. You were a spark in a dynasty's dying flame, a shadow that outwitted death until it came knocking for real. As your last breath slips out into the cold night air, you die knowing your son is breathing the air of freedom, carrying your blood and your fight into a world without red walls and silken nooses.